Today's tutorial is going to show you how to use Google Forms in the classroom to create surveys and actually quizzes and tests. So the first thing you do is log into drive.google.com and you'll come to the screen. You go to the red new button and you click it, and here you can actually create a bunch of different things, but today we're going to go down to more and we'll go to form. It's always purple. It opens up a new window. And this will show up. Google has actually changed their forms layout. The old one is in the faded background, but I'm actually going to show you the new version since that's what they're converting to. This was the original form, but the new one's actually a lot easier to use. So this is the screen you start with. And you always have a place right here to put your title. So I'll put sample title just so you can see where that would go. You can also put a detailed description here. And then it starts you off with a question type, but if you click into it, this is where you type the question. But it does not need to be multiple choice. If you go to the menu, there's a drop down menu here, and you can have them write short answer, paragraph, check boxes. There can be a drop down selection menu. You actually can have them select a date or time if you're doing a survey. There's tons of options. So say I still want to do multiple choice. Option 1, maybe I'm doing a multiple choice test. You literally can just keep clicking and add answer choices. Now, say I like this format and I want it to be the same for each question. All you need to do is scroll to the bottom here and click duplicate, and there you go. It copies it, and you can go in and change some of your answers, and you're good to go. Now, I have one recommendation. When you are on each question, make sure that you select required. If you do not, that means that they can skip the questions. So especially when I am doing a quiz or test via Google Forms, I always make sure that it is selected required so my students don't miss out on a test question. You can actually allow it to have a hint text. So if I select hint text, this could be additional directions for a question, additional details. Sometimes I've actually cut and pasted a reading passage that goes there. Since I'm an ELA teacher, there's tons of options for that to use. You can also shuffle the option order. So again, with the testing situation, that really helps. You can add different descriptions. You can actually add images to your tests. You can add videos. You can actually add different sections. So this doesn't have to be used just as a test. This can also be a full-on lesson that you submit to students. Now, one big change for those who have used Google Forms before, it used to be that right away it would open up an entire Google Sheets, and sometimes it was confusing because it would open up one sheet one time and then do another sheet another time. Now they have it all in one place. If you go to responses, all of the responses show up right here. If you want it in the spreadsheet so you can analyze the data, you can click on this symbol here. It can create a new spreadsheet. You can change the title, or you can add it to a spreadsheet that you already have going on, and then you hit create and it creates a Google Sheets for you. So there's two ways to view your responses. Going back to the actual form, this is the basic layout, but if you go to the upper right hand corner, you can change the color scheme, or you can click the picture and there are tons of themes. So you can choose whatever you'd like based on the theme that you have. One last feature I want to point out is settings. This is really important. Whenever you are creating a form, I want you to make sure that you select automatically collect responders information. This is very important, especially for students who are notorious for not putting their name on their work. This automatically collects their information so you know whose responses belong to what. Then you can also allow them to submit more than one response. I would not recommend letting them edit their response, but those are the options there. I do want to point out, can submit only one response. I do not recommend this from my own personal experiences if you're using this as a test. Reason being, there are always glitches with the internet dropping or things that happen with a device, and then a student's in the middle of taking a test, it drops, and then they can't submit again, and it turns into a big mess. So I personally do not select that box. Once you've decided what you like, you can go ahead and hit save. Now, say this is my survey. I want to send this out. All you do is hit send. Then you can choose to email it, or you can copy the link, or you can embed it on a website. For today, I'm going to copy the link, and I want to show you what it looks like live. This is what it would look like. So this is exactly what they'd fill out. You see that I didn't require the first one, but I did require the second. You can also have them send a copy to themselves. I also have my students do that. It emails them just in case there's some glitch, and hit submit. And that is it. It is super easy to use. If we go back to responses now on the original form and hit refresh, now you'll see that my results showed up, and it creates a graph. So every time one of the students responds, it's going to modify what you see on the screen. This is awesome feature of the new form because now you have instant formative assessment. You can instantly see what student understanding is in the moment, real time. It automatically updates. So this would be great for small group instruction, or it would also be great for if you have an independent group going on, and say you created a whole lesson within this forum with videos where they have to respond and do some work in between activities, in between videos. You can go back and see where student understanding was and know what you have to revisit the next day in small group instruction. Overall, Google Forms is super easy to use, and I truly recommend every teacher adding this to their educational arsenal.